Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror Hell-o-ween, the podcast where Alec and Joe are going to be covering every Hellraiser movie every day leading up to Halloween. Today, we're talking Hellraiser Part 7, Hellraiser Deader, which came out in 2005 and was directed again by Rick Boda. I'm your co host, Alec, and descending even deeper into hell with me is the one and only Joe Testa. Well, welcome back, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing better, Alec. I'll push back on that statement a little bit, and I will say I feel like I have crawled up a few layers of the labyrinth, and I'll just say I feel like this is a much better film than we got yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. Rotten Tomatoes has the one yesterday, oh my God, Hellseeker has 0%. This is 11%. So
Okay,
we've
that's
gone up.
something.
We're in double digits at least.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it is marginally better. You know.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I like that we know where it takes place.
Yes.
I liked the lead actress. I think she was
hmm
actually pretty good.
hmm
Eight-legged freaks, you know.
Okay, I meant to look her up, and I'm sure I have in the past. I've watched this movie a few times. But I think, yeah, I think she's really good in it.
Mm,
I think, I think she kind of carries it. I mean,
yeah.
this movie is kind of on her shoulders, and I think, sometimes you watch these movies and it's like, you think, well, they get who they get. I think she is a pretty good get for this movie.
Mm. Best lead of the past three movies, like in my mind, by far. I mean,
hmm
the most sympathetic character at least, and the most like I don't know, interesting. It seems like she's got some shit going on inside, and at least we get to
hmm
learn a little bit about her past, I guess. Um, yeah, yeah. This one is I don't know. It is better. Definitely, it's 100% better than the last one. And you were saying yesterday, you're like, I felt like there was a good Hellraiser movie in the serial killer like idea or whatever. And this one I feel like applies even more. Like this
hmm
cult idea and they're like accessing hell and Pinhead doesn't like that sort of thing. Like there is something good there. But this one, I don't know, it just doesn't sink the landing, I don't
Yeah.
feel like. But
Yeah,
yeah.
no, trust me. I probably would never recommend this movie to anyone unless I knew you. But yeah, especially when we're getting to the climax, I feel like I'm kind of lost,
Yeah.
I mean, and this movie does do the kind of Groundhog Day thing
Yeah.
that we got so much of in the past two movies. I don't think
Yeah.
it does it as much.
No.
I feel like it's a much more kind of linear story, and there's a mystery here that I'm semi invested in, much more
Yeah,
than last week.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, I mean, again, does does this movie and seamlessly blend the Hellraiser mythos? Not at all. And
No.
this movie was very much was, it was its own thing. It was called Deader, and this was a script that was purchased by Dimension years before. I would argue, I'm sure the
Oh, they
other
admit that this time?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
this was a script that was floating around for a while.
Okay.
So, I don't know if the other ones I'm sure were in some form,
Hmm.
but this was, a movie that Dimension uh might have made, you
Yeah,
know.
there's not even a debate about this one. They're like,
No,
no,
no, no,
no.
no.
Like,
Yep.
that's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I mean, so basically the idea is that there's just a cult that's accessing hell by killing themselves and then bringing themselves back to life, basically like reanimating themselves. But
hmm
what's the hook? Is there the demons are mad about it and they're just like, well, the demon could be Pinhead. Like, is that basically?
What was it before it became a
I'm
Hellraiser
trying to
sequel?
imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really have no idea. But yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, yeah, there is this cult of people that, have found a way to resurrect themselves after they kill themselves. I'm not sure like why you would want to blow your brains out and then come back to life with a huge hole in your head because it's not
Yeah.
like they heal after, right?
No. Yeah, no, you're right.
So I thought that was kind of strange. But yeah, and Pinhead feels like they're kind of I guess stepping on his turf, or kind of he doesn't like this.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't like this, and he wants to put an end to it.
Yeah, the only connection I think to any of the anything is the lead bad guy, the lead cult guy. His name is Winter, I think. He's supposed to be a Marchand or Merchant, right?
Well, yes, Pinhead does mention something about a descendant of his being a toy maker.
Yeah,
I don't know why you would put that in if he wasn't,
yeah,
connected to the bloodline. I don't know if that makes I don't know if that's something left over from the Deader script. That's just a coincidence. I
yeah.
don't know. But yeah, I mean, I would imagine I would imagine that's the reason that line is there.
Yeah, because even earlier, when this girl, I can't remember her name, but the lead woman gives the box to this guy, he's like, some would say it's my birthright or like my lineage or something like that. It's an heirloom, a family
Mm,
heirloom, but some would
mhm,
disagree. So it's like
mhm.
even ambiguous when he says that, and you're just like, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. There's the tiniest little connection, I guess you
I
get.
appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I don't know if it makes a lot of sense, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. But this same as the last one, there's not a huge plot. It's a lot of dream sequency. The one thing I've noticed in all three of these two is like there's just a scene of the lead character walking or sitting on a bus or something like that, and then there's just like this weird person just sitting there, and you're
Yeah,
like, is that a Cenobite? Like, what is that? And then they just never address it.
right.
But yeah, the idea of this movie is basically there's a news reporter. It's kind of like Vice News, I guess. Like she works undercover, but like in, crack houses. And now her whatever boss gets a videotape and it's like, look at this. And they watch the videotape and it's this girl getting killed by a cult, but with a gunshot and getting brought back to life. And there's this cult leader who in the videotape for 1 second I thought was Kyle MacLachlan. And I was like,
Mhm.
no, no, he's not. He's like, why would he be in this?
I
But
mean, I do feel like these movies are desperately trying to be like David Lynch, you
dude,
know?
this is like if you just, Diet Coke David Lynch, just
Yeah,
like distilled, just like, I don't know, trying to be weird without having any sort of idea what you're doing.
right.
Um, yeah, so they're like, hey, you need to go to Hungary and you need to like find this cult and this woman and stuff like
Romania.
that. Oh, Romania, sorry,
Hmm.
Budapest, right? Budapest.
Yes.
So at least I will say I liked that it was a different location. This is
Hmm.
the first time we've ever seen a Hellraiser movie not in America. I know there's some ambiguity about England, but um this is kind of fun. It's different,
Hmm.
and in like train stations and like, the punk scene on the train station was like a little interesting. It definitely felt like that early 2000s like ravers kind of, ecstasy Molly club scene kind of shit.
Hmm. No,
So,
I'll definitely give it huge props for its the free production value of shooting in Romania, and
right.
they didn't,
Yeah.
they only shot in Romania because it was cheaper. The Deader script actually took place in New York. Um,
Yeah.
so they sent it over to Romania, and the next movie also they shot them back to back in Romania. So yeah, I
Dude.
mean, I'm sure these movies were absolutely grueling. But and shooting in Romania at this time, I remember was very popular. I don't know what was going on with the taxes or the American dollar in Romania,
Yeah.
but yeah, there were a lot of movies shooting in Romania. A lot of movies that
Hostel?
maybe. I was thinking about Hostel,
Yeah.
definitely Eastern Europe, but I
Yeah.
remember Hellboy was one of them.
Oh,
But
yeah.
a lot of movies like Hellboy, for instance, tried to pretend it was America. Like they tried to pretend Romania was New York, and it's like it looks like Chernobyl for
Right.
God's sakes. Like if you're shooting in Romania, embrace all that, great architecture and just like I think the Romanian location adds a lot of atmosphere to this movie. I really like it. Maybe I'm making too much of it, after, the disappointment of Hellseeker, but yeah, I mean, right off the bat, I love the location and just the way this movie looks, I think is miles better than Hellseeker. Like I compared Hellseeker to like a Fox TV show police
Yeah.
procedural.
Yeah.
Like to me, this is at least like a good Showtime or HBO movie or series. Like I feel like this is the it has a premium look to it
You're
for a
right.
low budget horror movie.
Well, I don't know the budget on any of these. I don't even think they're
Mm,
really listed, but that kind of just goes to show like how much of the like how cheap it must have been for them to film there. That like this movie looks better. It didn't come out that much later. It came out like
mm,
3 years later, and so it just shows like, well, CG we can use CGI now, like because we're saving so
mm.
much money. It's just it's insane how
Yeah.
crazy that is. One thing I did think was kind of funny though is right in the beginning when she gets to like the hostel and she's going to look for that first girl who dies or whatever,
Mhm.
she's like going at the door and the landlord comes over. He's like, "Can I help you?" And it's like, why would he ever address her in English? That was like the
Yeah.
first thing. I was just like, this guy would definitely be speaking Romanian, And I was
Well, of
just,
course.
yeah.
And I
So
also thought in that scene, like she opens the door a crack, and they're both hit with like a smell of, I don't know, this overwhelming, horrible smell.
right,
And it's like, of course she finds a dead body inside. Like,
yeah.
wasn't the landlord the least bit concerned? But I guess he is supposed to be some kind of slumlord, so
I know, but
whatever.
he's just like, what smell? It's like, so it
Yeah.
always smells like dead bodies, like all the
Yeah.
time. And before she gets to Romania, though, she's got this boss who, again, I'm like, is this gonna be Pinhead? He's like this British. Oh yeah, because it takes place in London in the beginning. She's working for
Yes.
this London underground newspaper or something.
Mhm.
But yeah, she's got this kind of like scumbag guy. Everybody is sexually harassing her throughout like the whole movie too. They're like, you got a nice tight ass. Like
Yeah.
everybody, including her boss. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty weird. It feels, I mean, obviously, stuff like this happened, but this movie does feel like it took place in the 90s though. I mean, the chain smoking
Mhm.
and I don't know. It just I guess I don't know. I just don't remember people smoking that much in 2005. And this character is just like ripping. And maybe that's just her character, I guess,
Mhm.
but everybody was so casual about it. And I'm like, I kind of feel like in 2005 this wasn't a thing.
Yeah, I don't remember when that started to be kind of phased out.
Yeah. But yeah, her character is interesting. We don't really ever find out why she has this like horrible relationship with her father, but it's just continuously shown in flashbacks of like her like, fat old dad just like opening a door, be like, come here, and like,
Mhm.
but we don't really know who he is. So we get to see that. So at least she's got like a hard life. And I think one of the characters says, like, you've got that what did he say? You've got that darkness in you or that self-destructive behavior in you or something like that. And that keeps getting repeated throughout. So, like, I don't know. She's a nice woman. She's got an edge to her. She's had a life.
Mhm.
Um, but she finds a dead body. She gets to Romania. She finds a dead body. And of course, the lament configuration is right there. And it's like, here we go.
Yes.
And I think she finds a key in a videotape too there,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
Hmm.
Right. So she goes back to her hostel. She watches the videotape, and I'm trying to remember. Like I just watched this.
I mean, like pretty much every Hellraiser movie, but certainly the last few, she is messing around with the box,
Yeah.
and it sprouts chains, and we get a quick Pinhead cameo.
Right.
And then from that moment on, she is kind of haunted by visions, much like the last couple of movies. Although I would say done certainly better than the last movie we watched. I do feel like the story kind of progresses in a linear way.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. But yeah, this movie and the last two, it just kind of feels like once the box gets messed with, you're just like,
Mhm.
I don't really, I don't care anymore because I don't like
Yeah.
none of this even
Right.
matters.
You can't trust anything you're seeing. I will say, though, and this maybe is kind of a problem I've had going back to the first movie, like, I don't know what solving the box even means. Like, it just seems to mean kind of rubbing your thumb against the round, you know, disc part of the box seems to do it.
Yeah.
Like you would think it is this kind of really complicated thing that maybe you had to study. You had to look at some old occult texts to figure out how to open this thing. But most people just kind of fiddle with it for a second, and it does something, and Pinhead comes.
I thought about it actually. Yeah, it's kind of to me, it's like the Necronomicon, where it's
Mm,
like once you like touch it, it
yeah,
basically starts. It just your finger's gonna get cut on a piece of the edge of the paper or something. Like it's doing the work because
right.
you're right. Like by that logic, Chenard, who probably knows the most about this box of anybody
Mm,
that we've seen in these movies, he should easily be able to open it. But he's like, no, I need that girl who's never talked ever before to open it.
yeah.
So every time, you're right. Everybody that's never even heard of this box, they just touch it, and all of a sudden it's like, so.
Yeah.
I
It
think
just it kind of takes something away too. Like Frank, you would imagine, like did his research
Yeah.
about this,
Yeah.
and he's gone looking for this, and they're gonna make him, wish he hadn't. That's Hellraiser kind of to me is a be careful what you wish for kind of tale.
Right.
But everyone else is just yeah, they pick it up and they mess with it for a second and voila.
Yeah, you're right. Because like Elliot Spencer, it was like, I was looking for the ultimate pleasure, like all this stuff. And then this lady's like, I was doing my job and I found it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
The cop in Inferno is just like, oh yeah, I touched it and I put it on the counter. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's a little loose. I think by this point, I've accepted there's multiple boxes. There's no way there's
Mm,
just one. Because I mean, this is in Romania. The last two of them goes in Denver. So it's just like they're all over the place. I don't know.
yeah.
We don't, as far as we know, we don't get an explanation, but up till this point.
Mm,
So yeah, I mean the rest of the movie is kind of dream sequencey. She goes to like this subway and she meets this like punk British guy who's like, you gotta go like down this scary stairwell and you'll find this cult basically, and they'll tell you about it. His name is Winter and all this stuff. And it's just a drawn out scene of her like crawling through the wall and this dagger guy's going for her, and then she just wakes up out of nowhere, and it's a little disjointed, but she eventually
mm,
does get to the cult. Or she sees the leader kill a guy like on the subway platform, and then he just like walks away and the cops arrest her and they're like, she's crazy. And
mm.
her boss has to like get her out. So the boss flies over from London. He's like, I'm sick. I got you out of this, like. And they even say the line, it's like, you're kind of demonic. You remind me of a demon. She says that to him. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be Pinhead probably. But no, it's not Pinhead. We don't think. I don't know, because the ending's a little
Right.
weird, so I don't really know.
The ending is ambiguous. I feel like it's left ambiguous, and I was going to ask you your opinion on it. Not that it matters. I
Uh,
mean, it's not Inception. I mean,
no, no, no. It's just so confusing. I think
yeah.
for just nobody knew what they were doing.
And
Um,
correct me if I'm wrong. The cult wants. I cannot remember the lead character's name.
the female or the
Yeah,
cop, her name is Amy Klein. Amy
Amy.
Klein.
The cult wants Amy. I think because she's the only one that could open the box. I think. Or maybe I'm wrong
It was
about that.
something about like,
Or do they even want her to open the box?
oh my
Be-
God. Do they
because
say
she
she's the chosen one? Don't they say that?
something like that.
Yeah, they're like, you need to like give yourself willingly to the cult or something.
I have no excuse. I've seen this movie probably 3 times.
Dude, it's just like the sixth one. It's like
Yeah.
your memory just gets wiped. I
Yeah.
mean, like I'm
Yeah.
remembering clips, but like
Hmm.
if I had to like write like a summary and I was getting like
Right.
graded on it, I'd be like, this happened, this happened, but it would
Yeah.
not really make sense. Yeah, so they want Amy. The cult wants Amy for some reason. And yeah, I mean, she turns her back on them because they're like, yeah, Amy, like kill yourself. Here's like a knife or whatever. And then she screams, and then it's another dream sequence. But she wakes up in the bathroom, and this was kind of a cool scene where
Yes.
she has a knife all the way through from her back to like sticking out in like her chest. And I'm like, that is
Yes.
a long knife. But
Right.
yeah, she struggles for like 5 minutes in the bathroom to get this knife out. There's just blood everywhere, and it's
I
crazy.
think, I mean, we're grading on a curve here, but I think this is a pretty solid scene. It's intense. Like, yeah, I guess she is one of the debtors now, essentially, or I mean, she has a mortal wound and she's alive.
Right.
But yeah, she's in the bathroom. She has a knife sticking through her body. She's covered in blood all over the bathroom. It's pretty intense, and
Hmm.
she has to stick. She can't get the blade out of her, so she sticks the handle of the blade in like a cabinet door and pries it out of her. I think the actress does a great job, and I think the people who did the effects, Gary Tunnicliffe, we'll talk about him a little bit more in a bit. And we will talk about him in the future too. He did the special effects, I believe, from Bloodline on.
Hmm.
And
Oh, well,
I think this scene is really well done, and I think we
yeah.
get some kind of cool zombie effects later. Her friend that she saw in the videotape comes back. I think the scene is cool, and I think some of the effects are cool. If we're gonna give out some compliments.
And Pinhead comes at the scene and he's just like, "You don't feel pain, like you are deader, I guess," or something. Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
uh, yeah. And I mean, this is like whatever. This is stupid, but I literally was like, man, if she got naked for that bathtub scene where you see her half her boob for like 1 second, I'm like, man, that's crazy that they got it. But then, because I'm trying to think of the next scene, like you would have to get an actress that would be comfortable with nudity because
yeah,
like she is like fully naked with a knife in her back, like ripping it out. And yeah, they couldn't have done it with a shirt on and have it
right.
be convincing. So yeah, but yeah. So then she gets through the surviving the knife wound, but for the rest of the movie, there is just this like wound that's constantly bleeding.
Mhm.
So it like makes you think like, okay, she's got like a time limit kind of to figure out what's going on now, but I don't even know what she's trying to do. Like, I
Yeah,
know she's trying to kill the cult basically, but I guess Pinhead is on her side because he's like, there's this cult and they figured out a way to get into my domain and I don't like that, so you got to take care of them. You're the chosen one. So she's like, okay, I'll go back, I guess. I was just there a second ago, but now I'm in my bathroom. But
it,
then she gets caught again by the police, right?
yeah.
Because then
She ends up in like a hospital, right?
yeah, and then her boss is there again. Is like, they're not gonna let you go after that bathroom mess. So you're like,
Right.
okay,
But
so
is that just another dream? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know because it makes it seem like she's
Yeah. I
yeah.
will say at this point, and I don't know if it's the movie or it was getting late last night or I'm just kind of Hellraisered out, but I was really losing track of things at this point.
Yeah, it's really confusing. I mean, the cult stuff kind of happens, then she stabs herself and then she kind of just like is bleeding out and constantly trying to just get back to the cult and she eventually does.
Right.
She meets that girl, Marla, I think is her name, and she's like, "Yeah, you're the chosen one. You're the only one that can stop him," basically. So she gets back to the cult room.
Hmm.
And this was like a decent scene. Like when the cult is all in the room and the Cenobites come. Oh, she goes back to the British guy and she's like, I need your help. You need to help me or whatever. But I don't think he does anything.
Her boss, you mean? Oh,
The
you mean
the
the train guy.
the punk, yeah, the train
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So she like goes back to him, she's bleeding out.
Yeah.
And then I genuinely think it just goes to the like their cult room again.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, then then there's like the final showdown, and you're
Right.
like, this is okay,
Hmm.
but like, okay, I thought when they killed Winter, like the lead cult guy, like that
Hmm.
was pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
and they're talking to him for a long time, and he's like, like they're tightening on him, like that was
Hmm.
decent,
Hmm. Yep.
Um, and then they kill all the other cult members by just like shooting one big chain through like each, like eight of them or whatever. And
Yes.
genuinely, maybe the only joke I've heard in like the last seven movies is the one guy. It's not even a joke. He's just like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me,"
Yeah.
something like
Yeah, the
that.
one bit of levity I
Yeah,
think we've gotten in this whole franchise. Maybe part three had a few moments.
you're right. You're right. Part three is definitely the goofiest, other than I guess that one moment from
Yeah.
seven. But um, and then okay, here's the other thing. Was that Chatterer? Was that the Chatter guy in
I
the
think
background?
I think
Dude, they
so.
like don't even show his face. I'm
I
like,
know it.
the fuck? They bring out like three Cenobites too in like the background and they
Hmm.
barely show
Yeah.
them. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's Chatter.
Yeah, yeah,
Fine.
why did she even suit these guys up?
I don't
You
know.
know, like at least give them they someone bothered to get them in these suits, and you have these actors getting paid. Give them one close up, you
Dude, all
know?
I can think is they were literally like Halloween masks, and they're just like,
That's
as
the
long as we
thing.
keep them in the distance.
Keep them in the dark, keep them in the
Yeah.
distance. Yeah, and that sucks when you think about, those first couple of movies, and they're really not in it that much either, but
No.
those images are haunting, you know? And you'd think at least we could get some cool shots of the Cenobites. But yeah, I mean, who knows? At this point, it was probably 5 a.m. in Romania. Sun's coming up. We can't get the shot. We gotta make just end the movie. Just end the movie.
It's like, Chatter, we're really sorry, buddy. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's all right. But yeah, so the cult's all dead, the cult leader's dead, and now the Cenobites are like, great, now Amy, we want you now too. And she's just like,
Mhm.
fuck. So she gets a knife and she's like, I'll kill you, I'll just cut you. And Pinhead laughs or whatever. So then she's like, wait, what if I just kill myself? And
Yeah.
she just stabs herself, and Pinhead's like, no, and it just all
Yeah.
blows up, and no idea why that happens. And
Yep.
I think she does die though.
Yeah.
Because the next scene is just cuts back to her boss's office, and he's like, I don't know what happened to Amy. And he's like watching a news report from Romania. And here's the thing, the Romanian news anchor has a Romanian accent, but she's speaking in English. And I'm like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is this movie? Like, they don't even care. I mean, maybe it was like a local Romanian, I don't, whatever, fuck it. But then the most confusing thing probably in the whole movie is at the end, a woman that looks very similar to Amy walks in, and he's like, Trish or whatever. Yeah, let me show you a video. I think you'd be perfect for this. And it just like starts it all over again.
So yeah, is the movie implying that maybe her boss at the newspaper is in cahoots with the cult, although they're all dead now.
Right.
So I don't know.
It might as
Maybe
well make
not.
it Pinhead. You might as well,
Yeah.
but then it's like, what's the motivation now? Because you got somebody to kill the cult or get the
Yeah.
cult to Pinhead. But why couldn't Pinhead just go himself? Why did he need Amy?
It could be one of those things that probably made sense in the original Deader script, but
And
at
then I
this point,
love they just like do this like weird close up to like a picture of Amy and her boss, and you're like, is something in this? Like, am I missing something? And all of
right?
a sudden,
Like
just like,
like the end of The Shining.
yeah,
It's
yeah, literally, yeah. You're like, oh my God, Jack's always been here. But yeah, this one you're like, this is just them smiling. Like, what the fuck? And
yeah.
yeah. So this one, yeah, better than the sixth.
Yes.
Still not great.
Oh, but really quick, did you notice in the opening credits Stan Winston's name? Did you notice
I'm
that?
so glad you brought it up. I was gonna ask you, what did he do? Because it wasn't the effects, right?
No, no. So I tried to get to the bottom of that. I
Okay.
didn't find a lot of information, but I do believe when this was being developed as an original movie, he was involved as a producer. So I think just probably with contracts or whatever, his name stuck. I don't think he had anything to do with this movie, but yeah,
Weird.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, I love Pumpkinhead and I love all
Oh,
of his work.
he's a legend. Yeah, I mean, as soon as his name popped up, and I didn't remember his name was on this movie, but yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think he had anything to do with this movie.
that was bizarre. Yeah.
Hmm.
But there were two things I wanted to talk about that, or one thing that you wanted to talk about too,
Hmm.
aside from this actual film, was the No More Souls, the fan film or whatever. So
Yes.
you were saying that was on the DVD for this?
So yes, the original US Region 1 DVD
Yeah.
um, had a hidden special feature that you could
Hidden.
access.
Oh,
Yes,
Easter egg. Yeah.
Indeed. So
Yep.
this is how you find it. For all of you listening, break out your Hellraiser Deader DVD, put it in your machine, go to the special features. I memorized this. Go to the special features, go to the second page of special features. And then I think with your remote, you click either down and right or right and down. I can't remember which, but something like that. There's a puzzle box on screen. The puzzle box will light up red, and this 5-minute Hellraiser short film will start playing. And this was apparently just something that the special effects guys, led by Gary Tunnicliffe, I guess did for fun. And yeah, he directed it, Gary Tunnicliffe. He is also going to direct the last movie that we're covering,
Mm.
Hellraiser Judgment,
Hmm.
just to let you know. Um, Doug Bradley is not in this movie. It's
Yeah.
it's another actor. But yeah, it is just this kind of short film about Pinhead in the post-apocalypse. There's been some sort of
Mm.
nuclear war, and there are no more souls to torture.
Mm.
And yeah, I won't spoil it in case there's not much to spoil. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a kind of a cool little it was a cool little Easter egg on the DVD, and it's out there on YouTube if you don't have the Hellraiser Deader DVD, and I don't know why you wouldn't have it,
Right. I think
but
most people have it, but
yeah, it's out there if you want to find it.
yeah, no, you sent it to me and I checked it out. I think it's really cool. I just wish it was Doug Bradley. I feel like that would
Yeah,
really like because it's basically just like a monologue of Pinhead. But that guy does a good, decent job, and
yeah.
I love, yeah, just the everybody in makeup looks really good.
Mhm.
That's so funny though that they wouldn't like make that accessible because especially back then, like I remember like Austin Powers, Spy Who Shagged Me had an Easter egg like that, and so did Rush Hour 2. I think those are both New Line. Oh no, this wouldn't have been New Line. Never mind.
Yeah, this
Um,
is Miramax.
right, but because you couldn't look that up on the internet, like you genuinely had to like find that. So it's
Yeah.
like kind of funny that they wouldn't have promoted it, but
Hmm.
yeah. And then the one thing that, yeah, I wanted to bring up, I sent this to you earlier too. I just found out about this. They're making a Hellraiser video game, and it
Hmm.
actually looks pretty cool. Like Doom, I think it's called Hellraiser Revisited, I think. But yeah, I don't know when it's coming out, but it is coming out on a bunch of systems and PC. But like, I'm definitely gonna
Hellraiser Revival.
revival, right?
Hmm.
Revival. And yeah, genuinely, like the graphics look good. I think Clive Barker is actually doing stuff with this, and I'm down, dude. I've been playing. I mean, I've sent you there's a Michael Myers like 2D slasher game and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the Friday the 13th games. Like they're fun.
Hmm.
But this one, yeah, you're right, single player, and I'm curious to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I'm not as up on video games as you are, but I'll definitely check it out. Absolutely.
I know, dude, horror is really killing it right now, and I feel like it's even bleeding into games,
Mhm.
so
I also think it's telling that this is, from what you sent me, it's the traditional Doug Bradley, classic Hellraiser. It isn't like the Hulu Hellraiser.
right, right. Well, because I
Mhm.
just feel like so many more people
Yeah.
recognize Doug Bradley, and it would be weird. I mean, who's
Mhm.
like such a huge fan of the Hulu one that they're just like, this is bullshit. Like,
Yeah, I
so
don't know. I wonder if those people are out there actually.
I don't know. I haven't seen the Hulu one since I covered it a couple years ago, but I'm
Mhm.
definitely interested in watching it again after these, just to like compare it because I don't really remember it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on record, like I went in with very high expectations and was pretty disappointed. But yeah, after going on this journey, I feel like I kind of need to watch it again.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really remember much of it. All I remember is it's like it's not a reboot because it's not the same story. So it's like
Yeah,
or remake. It's not. I don't even know what it is on.
right.
But anyways, well, Joe, you got any last minute thoughts on Deader?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a vast improvement over Hellseeker, although that's, faint praise.
Yeah.
But I think this is a really good-looking movie, and that means a lot coming from me. I think it's a good looking movie. It's got some pretty good atmosphere. I love the location. I really like our lead actress. But unfortunately, it suffers from a lot of the same issues the last couple of movies have suffered from. So. Yeah, not the worst, far from the best.
No, I genuinely agree with everything you just said. It's kind of just like makes you sad because it just feels like another missed opportunity in this
Yeah.
franchise,
Hmm.
where there's a good idea there, a cult that's breaking into hell, and Pinhead doesn't want to, he doesn't like that.
Hmm.
But they just dropped the ball, to a degree.
Yeah.
But Also, like, I've always had a peripheral view of this franchise, and like I always knew about like Hellseeker and Inferno because I remember the posters, and even the one I think the next one we're doing, I think, is the Matrix one. I remember seeing the posters for that. This one I like never even heard of or like
Mm,
really remember the title at all, like Deader. It just doesn't. I feel like it should be the Deaders or something like that,
yeah.
or Deaders. I don't
Or
know, but
just get rid of that and come up with a different name for I don't Deader is just it's weird. Like even in
yeah,
the movie, she thinks her boss says it, she thinks he's saying debtors,
yeah,
like debt collectors,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's just weird. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Come come up with a different title, but that's, you know, a nitpick, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, everybody, we hope you're enjoying the slump of the Hellraiser franchise. I'm hoping we can keep digging our way up a little bit incrementally. It'd be nice.
I'm not saying anything.
All right. Well, yeah, so tomorrow we're doing Hell World. That's the one, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our discussion on Hellraiser Deader, and we'll see you tomorrow with Hellraiser Hell World.